Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly
Oh, good.
fine.
You did not.
Mhm.
You didn't respond. So I was like, am I
I'm
having
sorry.
a technical difficulty? You know, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that to the Going On Daily fans.
Mm,
It's
true.
disrespectful, right?
Mm, right.
So we're in the middle of March already.
Yeah. Yep.
It is a windy day up here in Rhode Island. I don't know about where you're at, but
Same here in Connecticut. Same here in Connecticut.
I'm
Mhm.
crossing my fingers that trees are not going to come down. I'm like, should I move my car? What should I do? Because it's like
Mm,
it's pretty
mm-mm.
bad out there. But
Yeah, it is.
what are you going to do, right? So it is the 14th of March, Saturday, the 14th of March, 2026. This is show number 60 for
Hmm.
2026.
Yep.
Kenny, how are you? Anything new going on in your universe?
Nothing. Absolutely
Just
nothing.
nothing? Like
Just
nothing?
nothing. I'm
Wow.
just.
Maybe
I'm
that's a
nothing.
good thing.
Yeah. I hope so.
Maybe
I
nothing is
hope.
good. It's nice and
Uh,
peaceful. You don't have to really. Good morning, Pauline. And you don't really have to. You can chill for a little bit because it's been a bit hectic
yeah.
at the
It has
beginning of
been.
the year. So maybe it's nice. You can kick back a little.
Mm-hmm.
You can get your coffee. Then you can
Mm-hmm.
listen to There Goes My Dog. And then you can listen to, and of course, he's got to stick his head out the window. So here comes a bunch of light that is not going to make me happy, but that's all right.
Oh, what a great dog. Great
And he's going
dog.
to growl at people in the next yard. So we're going to have to listen to that too.
Yes. Yes. Good job.
Gotta love
Good
those
job.
things that we're not prepared for. Um, so I think that's it. Just we've had some this week. We've really had some good weather. Like we had a blizzard, which of course you know, and
Mm-hmm.
we had like a foot on the ground of snow. Then we had like another 3.5, almost 4 feet of snow,
Yep.
and it was like we could not get out of our houses. We couldn't walk around in our yards. We couldn't park our cars. Like it was ridiculous. We were worrying about getting our mail and all that stuff. So then all of a
Yep.
sudden, the bipolarness of New England and the weather of New England changed, and we got like a 74-degree day. Was it
Yep.
Monday? It might have been Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember. I think it was Tuesday.
Tuesday.
But it was like we had people, we had people like walking around in shorts and t-shirts, and it was snow on the ground. It was really weird and funny, and
Yeah.
throwing snowballs at each other in 75-degree weather. We had people at the beach. I saw one video online. I follow a couple of Boston pages on social media, and I saw one with a guy in the middle of the Charles River on a like a jet ski, like trying to get around. But of course, it's still ice. So he's like, "Hey, it's summer," and he goes out there, and it's like he gets in the middle, and he's like, "Oh, oops, maybe I shouldn't have done this." So he's out there stuck trying to get through the ice in Charles River because it's
Oh.
like it was a ski day to him or like a jet ski day as far as he's. So I just thought that was funny. I'm like, how many
Uh,
times do you see like that kind of thing? Because it was like a complete swing in the other direction. Because when we got that snow, it was like 18 degrees, 15 degrees, 20 degrees, right? So for I don't know
uh,
how long the snow wouldn't melt because we didn't get high enough temperatures. It was just really funny. So now all of a sudden, all the snow isn't completely gone. Like, and it's been a couple of days and it melted fast. And so now we're just like, oh, okay, no snow. So it's
mhm.
just funny. It's been all over the place up here for weather. Um, and it never a dull moment if you live in New England anyway,
True. Never
because
a dull
that's
moment.
just the way it is. So,
Yep. Never a dull
so yeah, the theme this week for us is women in history,
moment.
which we're on the tail end of that, so we're wrapping it up.
Mhm.
But here's what we want you to know today. Do you get your coffee and listen to us? We're ready to go. Kenny's got a story for us.
I am ready. Hey, yes. So, we know that Friday was March 13th.
Hmm.
Mhm. Right. So, did you know that there's three Friday the 13th this year?
Yes, I do know this. I do know the two. Well, two of them are because of whenever you get a 28-day February, the March just repeats over. So I put my cookies and machete out for Jason last month on the 13th, and I decided this this month I'm just not gonna skip it because he's already been here. So
He's already been there.
I don't know what the third one is because I haven't looked at it, but yeah, that's crazy.
So, so the third one will be November 13th, which is on a Friday.
Wow.
That will be in autumn, according to the Old Farmer's Almanac. Three Friday the 13th are rare, and it happens twice every 14 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Twice.
So twice every 14 years. That's crazy.
Okay.
So three of them are very, very rare. So
Interesting.
three in 1 year is pretty crazy.
That's crazy. So, is there some kind of like superstition to that? I wonder, like, where we should be worried about this or something because there's three of them. Like, so Ron said, so not that rare, Kenny. I don't know. You get him. I'm gonna stay out of this. He said,
What?
not that rare. That's
Not
what he
that
just
rare.
said.
Three
I don't
in
know.
1 year? Hey, bring it up with the Old Farmer's Almanac. Okay, that's what they told me. Okay, that's what they told me.
I don't. Oh, yep. There we go. This is gonna be one of those shows where everything's gonna go my way. I can see it already. So yeah, it's I'm trying to read my phone, and if I guess it looks like I'm not going to. I'm gonna have to hold it, which I guess I'll do.
All right.
Because
Okay.
so yeah, I was just wondering if like we're in for it this year because of that. Like we get 3 Friday the 13th. We just had that blizzard, so like, and we had people die in that blizzard. Which, if you have a really big blizzard, you know it's gonna happen. It happens. People get hit by plows.
Yeah.
People get stuck in their cars. We had one kid in Newport, I think, that tried to charge his phone in the middle of the blizzard and left his car running. And of course, I guess he wasn't thinking that he might get, he might suffocate or he might end up getting. So that happened, but I don't know. I'm really not looking forward to the rest of the year because I'm like, what kind of weird weather events are we gonna get? And
snow
lots of people, lots of celebrities we're losing. So I don't know. What do you think?
I'm scared myself. 3 in 1 year? I don't know. And November's my birthday, so I don't know. I might have to go hide.
When's your birthday? Wait,
November.
what?
November.
Oh. Yeah. But is it on that day? No. It's just in November.
No. It's in November.
Ron Leprechaun, you get a nickname there.
If we catch you, we get a pot of gold. If we catch you, we get a pot of gold.
Yes. I guess you may be looking for a pot of gold this weekend. Well, I mean, we are rolling into our Irish week. That's next week, so that starts tomorrow. And St. Patty's is really going to be celebrated most places over the weekend. So, that all goes together. You'll be a leprechaun tomorrow, Ron. Make sure you wear your outfit.
Yes, green.
You're kicking it off. You're kicking off Irish week.
Yep. Oh,
so here's where you are watching us. If you are watching us, you're watching us on YouTube. You're watching us on Kick, Rumble, at Rhode Island Broadcasting. You're watching us on Twitch at RI_broadcasting. And you're watching us on X. It's never going to be X. I'm sorry. It's Twitter at broadcasting RI. Right? If you want to listen to us, you're out doing your errands or something like that, and you can't watch us because you're driving, which that you should do because that's safe. You're going to find us on Spotify, Red Circle, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. And I noticed this week a mention of Apple Music, but I don't know what's going on there. So, but I went and checked it. So that maybe that might be happening soon. So keep that in mind, right? And then we have social media that you could follow us on to find out whatever is going on with
Mm-hmm.
Rhode Island Broadcasting and Going On Daily, and that's going to be MeWe,
Mm-hmm.
TikTok,
Yeah.
LinkedIn, Blue
Mm-hmm.
Sky,
Mm-hmm.
Parlor,
Mm-hmm.
Space,
Hey.
Gab at Rhode Island Broadcasting, and
Mm-hmm.
then Twitter at Broadcasting RI, Patreon at RI Broadcasting. You know, I should just throw Patreon into the rest of the. I don't know why I did that. I split it up. That's on me. This is just very unorganized of me. And then on Facebook, we've got at Going On Daily Morning Show, right? So that's if you just go to Facebook and you search for Going On Daily Morning Show, like that page, and then share it to your personal page so that everybody can find it and tell them to like it as well. And that way we can get our numbers up on Facebook, right? So we can start
Yes.
broadcasting on Facebook again
Mm-hmm.
because we lost that. And then we have a website, Rhode Island Broadcasting.net, right? So that's underneath Kenny over there.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you go to Rhode Island Broadcasting.net, you can find everything I just said in case you weren't paying attention, right?
Right.
And then you can vote because we've got a new poll going on for March, and it's the Hall of Fame, right? And it's 60s male actors, right? So it's
Right.
John Wayne, Paul Newman, Steve McQueen,
Ooh.
Jack Lemmon, and Sean Connery. Those are the 5 to vote from, and those are 5 pretty heavy hitters.
Yeah, that's hard.
So,
That's very
and
hard.
also that I just have to mention this QR code here. If you don't want to go to the website and type it, you can just kind of click your QR code. It'll take you straight to the page, and then get your vote in. I don't know where we are. We're halfway through the month at this point. So who's in the lead? Ron, let us know. But if you want your 60s guy actor to win, I suggest you go and vote.
Yep.
So, you make sure it happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get your whatever you want to call it. It's funny because I want to say a bunch of things, but since my coffee's not loaded yet, I cannot speak. Last month we had 90s best 90s drama, and X-Files ended up winning. Oh, so right now Sean Connery's in the lead.
Woo! Yeah.
And if you don't want to see that happen, I would suggest you vote for whoever your actor is. But if you're into him, then you're all set. So far, we got 2 weeks to go. All right. So 86% for Sean Connery.
86. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and last month the X Files won Best 90s Drama by 77%. I believe that's what I saw. But I could be wrong. Correct. I'm sure Ron will correct me if I'm wrong. And so you can also we have a thing going on this month where we had seen a couple of shows, and of course I forget. Becky did a show on going out to Uganda, and some of the stuff that's going on out there. Plus, regardless of whatever politics you're into, U.S. aid was cut, and that was a big deal. And a lot of that money was helpful to people in places like Uganda. So right now, basically, there's a school where there's no roof. They're looking to put a roof on the school just because it's so hot out there. The kids can't really. I mean, they'll get sick. They can't really be in classrooms without a roof. So we've been putting together some money to get a roof built, and so hopefully we can do that. But that's where you want to go, rhodeislandbroadcasting.net/Uganda-donations, and that's right down here to throw some money.
Yep.
All right, and so season 3, episode 51 is the episode you want to watch. Story time for Becky's trip. Okay, and in the comments here, I see it youtube.com. I can speak that, but if we can get a link dropped where somebody can click it, there you go. Right here, cut and paste that. That's your episode that Becky went out to Uganda, and she's got pictures and she's got stories and she met some kids, and there's a lot of stuff that I think they were out there for 2.5 weeks. And so she it was pretty moving and inspirational. What they're trying to do out there, and it's we want to make sure people can learn, and if they can't sit in a school in a classroom, I mean that's crazy. So let's get some money, get your coffee money for the week, and go
Mhm.
there and donate. That's it.
Yep.
Do it. Okay.
Let's do it.
So okay, so yeah, we've raised $70 so far. So yeah, we need to pick up some. We need to pick up some donations. Let's get in there, and
Yep.
it could be $5.
Yeah.
It can
5 bucks,
be
10.
yeah. It's just like whatever extra money you have. It doesn't have to be a lot of money. Every little bit counts. So, um, like I said, your coffee money for the week. Maybe it's $5. Maybe it's $3.50. Whatever. Go there and do it. Yeah, skip Dunkin' for a day
Yep.
and do it. I know people from New England is like the end of the world. Skip Dunkin', but
Right.
I think you can do it. I think you can do it,
Do
right?
it. You can
And,
do it.
or Starbucks or whatever more expensive coffee that you typically drink. I would say one day isn't going to kill you, right?
Nope. Not at all.
Tim Hortons. What do we have out
Mm-hmm.
here? We have all kinds of stuff. We have a couple of places. We got oh man.
Starbucks.
Well, yeah, Starbucks, Best Eaton. I don't know if
Mhm.
Best Eaton. I don't know if we have Best Eatons out here anymore. I know that I used to work there when I was young, but I don't know if I see a whole bunch of those. Or like, yep, Honeydew,
Honeydew.
Mary Lou's Coffee, uh, what's the Panera Bread, whatever it is.
Mm.
If you go to Cumberland Farms around here, that's probably the cheapest
That's what
coffee ever.
I was about to
Um,
say. I was going to say that.
but
Cumberland
still,
Farm.
that's still a good $2, right? Yeah, they should all
Yeah.
sponsor us. We just anyway. So rolling into my story for the week, wrapping up women in history. There's a couple of interesting women that I found. I know you guys covered throughout the week so many like historically important
Mhm.
women in major stories. So I figured I'd do a little bit of kind of fun stuff, but still, I think important. These are women in history that I think are interesting.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Very
Let's go.
first, the very first woman I think is interesting is a woman by the name of Maud Stevens Wagner.
Mm.
She was born in Kansas in '77, right? She was one of the earliest or pretty much first documented women in American tattoo history to be licensed as an artist.
Ooh.
And so she was with the circus circuit, right? Or the vaudeville circuit. She was an aerialist and a contortionist, which is really cool, right? I don't know. I get cool. I get excited over stuff like this. Like, how cool is that? She was working in numerous traveling circuses, and she met Gus Wagner. That was her husband for the rest of their lives. And he was a tattoo artist who described himself as, while traveling with circuses and sideshows, he was the most artistically marked up man in America, right?
Mm.
And I
Okay.
only say this because I only brought this up because, like, as much as we think tattoos are terrible in this day and age, or how whatever people are saying that they're bad, or whatever the case may be. I mean, obviously, I have friends that have tattoos. I don't find a problem with them, but there are some people that look down or upon that. But imagine that doing that in 19 like '07. You know what I mean? Over 100 years ago, in 1904. During like this is the Louisiana Purchase Exposition Women's Fair in 1904. She was there, right?
Ooh. Mhm.
She was working as an aerialist, and she exchanged a romantic date with him for a lesson in tattooing. So I'll go out with you if you teach me how to tattoo. Very resourceful. And he was like, okay. And several years later they were married and they had a daughter. And her name was Lativa, and she started tattooing at the age of 9, and she went on to become
Wow.
a tattoo artist herself, which is kind of cool. And together the Wagners were the two of the last tattoo artists to work by hand, just straight by hand, without the aid of like modern tattoo machines that you would see now. She was the United States' first known female tattoo artist, technically, right? So,
Mm.
after
Mhm.
leaving the circus, they both traveled around the United States and they worked in tattoo artists. And they worked as tattoo artists in tattoo attractions in different parts of the country, in vaudeville houses and country fairs and amusement arcades and things like that. They're credited with bringing tattoos inland only because um, a lot of tattoo stuff started at coastal areas. New Jersey, New York, coastal places is kind of where you would see tattoos for the most part, and
California.
they were credited for bringing it like in and
Hmm.
to the rest of the country. So that was pretty cool. So that's that is Maud Stevens Wagner. You can check her out. There's actually there's a couple of cool pictures of her um, tattooed head to toe. And back in the back in the days, the early 1900s, there's some pretty cool pictures of her. So if you get a
Oh.
chance to Google that, look it up. Right.
Hmm.
So right here uh, we've got Jennifer Beals. Right. So Flashdance from 1983, or at
Hmm.
least that was when it was filmed. Um, Head to Toe was a great Lisa song, sure.
Hmm.
Um, yeah.
Was. Hmm.
On a side note, yep. So Flashdance, I did not know this when I was young. Although it should make sense. A lot of movies when I watched when I was a kid, as a Gen X kid, would typically be coming from some true story, right? I know that
Hmm.
kind of now. But when I was a kid, I didn't know that, right? I just thought, oh, cool concept. A woman, she wants to be a welder, but she's also like a dancer by night. Okay. Like I thought, all right, somebody made that up. Turns out that is a story that's inspired by a woman by the name of Maureen Martyr. And she was a construction worker and welder by day, and she worked in Gimlet. So she's from Toronto, strip club at night.
Mm.
And like Alex Owens in Flashdance, right? She wants to become a prestigious dance school. She wants to join a prestigious dance school, become a dancer professionally. And guy by the name of Tom Headley, he wrote the original story outline for Flashdance. And on December 6th, 1982, he basically wrote it based on her, and he got her to sit down and sign a release for Paramount Pictures for the right to portray her on screen, for which she was given a one-off payment of $2,300.
Hmm.
Again, you can go look her up. There's some pictures of her. I think there's a couple videos where they interviewed her and that kind of thing. This movie is estimated to have grossed more than 200 million. And
Oh.
so Flashdance is estimated to have it brought in, I don't know how much money more than she signed over, but she later
Mhm.
brought a suit against Paramount Pictures because they made so much money on it. And the courts ruled in her favor, in Paramount's favor, excuse me, as she had she sat down with lawyers and signed a deal for $2,300. So as much as it seems unfair that she didn't get a decent amount of money for it, it kind of she sat down with her lawyers. It wasn't like she was coerced into it.
Mhm.
The court said, though, in hindsight, the agreement appears to be unfair to Martyr. She only received $2,300 in exchange for a release of all claims relating to the movie that grossed over 150 million. This is back in 2006. There's simply no evidence that her consent was obtained by fraud, deception, misrepresentation, duress, or undue influence, because she sat down with her lawyers and signed the document at the time. However, of course, wouldn't it be nice if Paramount Pictures kind of threw her some money and said, "Hey,
Right?
right? I'm
Exactly.
quite sure, knowing the movie industry and the media industry, um, basically, if they had done that, then it would have been like a free for all. I'm quite sure if they did that, that would have been like a case where several people that signed over their rights would have come
Mhm.
out of the woodwork and went after Paramount, and they would have
Woodworker.
had to do it. So that's probably why they didn't. Who knows though? You could have done it. You could have done it on the sly. Hey, here's a little wad of cash for you.
Mhm.
Here's an NDA or whatever. Don't tell anybody, but we're
Right.
giving you the money, but we're not going to legally do this. I mean, it's not like Hollywood hasn't made backroom deals for
Mm.
years,
True.
so
True.
they could.
Mhm.
And in her case, I think like maybe they should, right?
Mhm.
Also, Beals was like 19 and was the. I just want to mention her because she's pretty cool to me too. She was a Yale student at the time. So I don't know how many people, for something like 4,000 people, were trying to get into that movie when they were like farming out looking for actresses, and
Mhm.
she I don't think had ever done anything else. She was just a Yale student that sent in a headshot, and somehow or other, I don't know if they liked her energy or whatever it was.
Mhm.
And then when the movie ended, she went back to Yale and finished her degree. And so it's cool. I just think it's there's a few people that um, that would be Jennifer Beals. Jessica Biel would be a different actress, but yeah, you want to definitely like give credit to somebody who was in Yale and said, "I'm not gonna," I guess if you go to Yale, you don't want to mess with Yale. You go back and finish it, right? Unlike David Duchovny, who did not do that. I like the fact that she said, "All right, I made this movie, and okay, I'm going back to school." She was like 19 or something, so it was her first role, and she's still acting now. So that's cool. Anyway, that's the story of the Flashdance. In
Mhm.
Maureen Matter, right? So,
Mhm.
and then as a DJ, I have my own history women that I like that
Uh-huh.
are important to me.
Mhm.
One of them would be Annie Nightingale. Now, Annie Nightingale was a UK female radio jock. That's what
Mm.
she did. Uh, Not a big deal now, but back in the early 1960s, it was. And she started in 63, and I think up until 2024, she's been on the radio in some form or other. And the Beatles got her the gig, which is pretty cool. Her main gig, which was like I think in the late 60s. But she had started out
Nice.
in the early 60s doing segments in radio over there, BBC, I believe, in the UK. So I just want to mention her because she's kind of in the forefront. But when it comes to nightclubs and people being in person spinning, there's a woman by the name of Joni Labine. She's from the Whiskey A Go Go. She's actually she's the first female DJ, and they threw her up there to DJ the Whiskey A Go Go when they opened, right? She was a
Mhm.
DJ and sound mixer. The club was built as a discotheque. They did a lot of bands in there, right? But it was supposed to be only live music because at one point discotheque meant that. Eventually, discotheque meant a DJ and a bunch of people on the dance floor, and it turned into disco. But early in the 60s, discotheque actually meant it offered only live music, right?
Mhm.
They opened with Johnny Rivers performing 3 sets, and Joni spinning records in between from a suspended platform at the right of the stage. Now, the building was a bank before they turned it into the Whiskey A Go Go. And
Mm.
Whiskey A Go Go is legendary. If you have a chance to look it up, several artists, including the Doors and some of the other artists in the '60s, that was a major place for them to play in the '60s.
Mm.
And so,
Whiskey a go-go.
yeah, so they had levels at the top where security used to watch over, and so they used that section to put Joni up and have her DJ opening night, January of 1964. Right? The audience thought it was part of the act. So they kept the concept, which is cool because like people they put her up there for that one night, but then the crowd was like, "Oh, that's what you guys do," and so they were like, "I guess that's what we do." So they kept her there and
Mm.
had it there, and then they added some bars and the concept of go-go dancers in the cages. She was the one who kind of came up with the designer of the go-go outfit, which is also
Mm.
very cool, and that's that costume of a French dress and white boots in the '60s.
Yes. Mhm.
She gets credit for that. So again, her
Wow.
name is Joni Labine, Labine, and she forged some stuff back in the '60s that maybe not everybody knows about.
Mm.
Discotheques started in France. They were by definition places where records were played, but instead of live music, but over here they were translated into live music. Um, Another popular LA discotheque was PJ's, which was across the street from the original Fred Siegel, or Santa Monica Boulevard, Crescent Heights. And Fred used to watch all the cool cats come in and out of the club, which gave him hip clothing ideas. But these discotheques were launched a launch pad for the global twist craze in the early 1960s. And a lot of them claim also that the Peppermint Lounge was also where a lot of go-go dancing happened, and people may argue that or whatever. And also the Whiskey A Go-Go is about 62 or 63 years it's been running. It's still open, so that's pretty cool. Uh, and so, if you get a chance to look that up, and then there's one more person that I personally uh, was fascinated by, and she's like technically the very first as far as working disco clubs and
Mhm.
being able to put records on and spin music and mix music, and that would be Alice Gamrat. And Alice Gamrat, or DJ Alice, DJ Alice Gamrett. She used to work at Sybil's Disco in New York. And there are pictures of her if you ever look her up. Just look up Sybil's Disco, female DJ, whatever you want to say. You should be able to pull up a couple pictures of her in a dress and no shoes, bare feet, spinning the tunes. Alice
Okay,
Gamrett.
all right.
She passed in 2022, which is unfortunate. She had cancer, which is sad. But she's like one of the first people like who did disco DJing, and she was at Sybil's for I don't know how long, and she's so part of that disco history. So I got to bring her up. I know there's a ton of male DJs, from back in that day that everybody knows of, but I don't know if anybody knew about Alice Gamrett. And if you know me and you follow me either on Instagram or Facebook, you've seen pictures of her. I've already done this, where I did a whole to do and a couple of shots of her, because there was this really prolific, I forget his name off the top of my head, photographer who used to go out in New York and just take pictures of stuff in the nightlife. And he got a couple of good pictures of her, and it took a while for people to kind of like understand, oh, what is this? Like, look at this chick DJ and check it out. And some stories came out about her, and then some DJs that I follow, female DJs from before me, started to kind of like do interviews and stories about her. Some of them knew her. And so it's kind of a bummer that she got all of that notoriety later in life, but that's the way it is, right? So shout out to Alice Gamrett. And I don't know if Alice DJ, the like techno artist that came out in the late 90s, is a tribute to her. I'm still trying to figure that out. But there's a song called Better Off Alone, and it's Alice DJ, Deejay. That was the big song by her in the 90s. And I don't know if that was where she got her name from. It could be completely different, but it would be very cool if it was connected. So yeah, those are the three ladies that I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Those are the interesting women in our Women in History Week.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And I'll shut up now. Kenny, you're going to tell us about some ladies that I need to meet?
Yeah.
I'd like to meet these ladies. Tell me all about it.
Okay. All right. You might know them, you might not. So let's meet them. The first one is Victoria Woodhull.
Ooh.
Not only was she the first woman to run for president of the United States, but Victoria Woodhull did it so in 1872, nearly 50 years before even women had rights to vote.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. I like that.
That is pretty cool.
Let's meet Roberta Robbie Gibbs. The first woman to ever run the Boston Marathon. She hid in the bushes at the starting line, then jumped in the race wearing Bahama shorts and a sweatshirt over a swimsuit to hide that she was a woman. And she ran the whole marathon in 3 hours and 21 minutes and 40 seconds.
Okay, so that must be before. That's before the one that I remember from the Boston Marathon that the guys just beat her up and took her right out of there. So this must have been before that.
1966.
Yep. Okay, that was the 70s. So yeah, I didn't know about this one. Wow, that's pretty cool.
1966. Yeah.
What did they count it as? I'd like to know that. Like, how did they? Because women weren't allowed. So I wonder what they. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know how they. I wonder how they rectified that. That's interesting. Cool.
How about Margaret Hamilton?
I love Margaret Hamilton. Are you talking about Margaret Hamilton from The Wizard of Oz?
No.
Or is that somebody else? Oh, well, never mind.
That's deep. That is deep. I think it's this young lady right over here. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin and Michael Collins may have walked on the moon in 1969, but Margaret Hamilton helped them get there. She led the software engineer division at MIT, which developed the Apollo spacecraft guide and navigation system.
STEM ladies, love them.
STEM ladies, Leslie. And last but not least, in 1916, Jeanette Rankin became the first women elected to Congress. The Montana Republican and fierce woman right advocate was one of 50 representatives who voted against declaring war on Germany and entering World War One. First person, first woman
Wow.
inducted into Congress.
I have to agree. I don't think that I think that would have been a vote no for me too.
Yeah,
I'm all about that.
me too. Me
No war.
too.
No war.
No war. No war. No war.
More than war. What is it good for? Kenny,
Absolutely nothing.
say it again.
Hey.
That's Edwin Starr, in case anybody wants to know. Edwin
Yes. Yes.
Starr. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yep. Yep.
Yes.
Oh, I know. If only it was. It probably is, but I
Yep.
guess nobody
Yep.
cares. We don't follow laws
Yeah.
anymore.
Nobody
So
cares.
I'm just gonna
Nobody
bring up
cares.
somebody who's a history for me as a woman, and that would be Amy Heckerling. Oh, you know what? I'm so sorry. Are you done?
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I
I need
am
to
done.
shut up. Did
I
you
am
know
done.
this? I don't know if anybody knows who Amy Heckerling is, but she is behind some of my personal Gen X favorite movies. Right, one of her first movies was Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and of course that's like 1982, I believe.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And for me as a kid, like that's it. I don't think it aged really well. A lot of stuff I watched as a Gen X kid did not age very well, but I don't care because it was then, and that's what we watched, and whatever. So I'm not going to cancel anything from back then, because that's where we were at, and things changed. Anyway, Fast Times at Ridgemont High is one of my favorite movies, and it's one of the most quotable. I don't know, most Amy Heckerling movies just have so many good quotes in them. It's ridiculous. So she started out with that movie. Then she moved on to one of my absolute favorite movies. And I don't, you have to be, I don't know. I can't, my sense of humor is what it is. See, it's Johnny Dangerously. I love that movie and it makes me cry every time I watch it
Oh
laughing. It
God.
is, it's hilarious. Um, I know that everybody watched All in the Family for years, right? And knew of Jean Stapleton, but Maureen is her sister. Maureen is in this movie, and she like every scene she's in is off the charts funny. Um, and so that was one of her next movies. Then she did a movie that you had your regular vacation, regular, you know, whatever it was, National Lampoon's Vacation. She came in and
Mm.
did the second one, which is a European Vacation. And once again, the lines are off the charts. In that movie, it's hilarious. Yeah, it's really funny. And then then after that she did Look Who's Talking, another movie in my opinion that has a ton of lines. I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely love it. And I think she did Look Who's Talking too. Yeah, she did. That was 1990. So far so good, right? And then in
Mm-hmm.
my opinion, Clueless is one of the very best movies she's ever done.
Mm.
Clueless has one of the best casts ever. It has one of the
Yes.
best dialogues ever, and it's basically a remake of Emma. If you're into, if you're into like the old classics like Sense and Sensibility and all that kind of stuff. Of course, off the top of my head, I'm trying to think of the writer for that, which of course I had in front of me but don't have now. But anyway, Clueless is like it's a classic redone for like the 90s. And so I know a lot of people knew that, but it is. And there were a couple of versions of Emma, I think, that came out from like the 60s to the 90s, but this is basically a redone Emma.
Mm.
And so, yeah, you have to watch Fast Times today. I mean, uh, there's a million. If you know Fast Times and there's a favorite quote of yours, go ahead and rip it. I mean, they'll make sure you try to keep it. But like, think about this: Anthony Edwards. Think about everybody that was in that movie was in Fast
Mm.
Times and like where they ended up. Like they all became big stars,
Yep.
right? Yeah, Phoebe Cates, until her husband got a hold of her, but that's another story.
Mm.
I think what was she 19 and he was in his 30s.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, everybody in it, Sean Penn, um, God, there's a couple of people in this that I'm trying to think off the top of my head. You got Jennifer Jason Lee. You got oh the guy that I can't remember his name right now. That played the kid that was selling the concert tickets. You had yeah, you had Mr. Hand. Anyway, all those movies are pretty cool. Then she went from there to like I think she did Loser in 2000. She did a movie called I Could Never Be a Woman in 2007, and I think that's another Paul Rudd movie, and I believe that's Michelle Pfeiffer. And then she did another movie called Vamps in like 2012, and then she's behind the scenes on a lot. Like she's done a lot of writing, directing, producing of other movies. These are kind of her main ones. But did you know
Mm.
she has one daughter, Molly
Mm.
Heckling, right?
Mhm.
With Harold Ramis. Now, I don't know if you remember who Harold Ramis is, but Harold Ramis is famous for, among other things, writing Ghostbusters.
Yes.
He was in Ghostbusters, but of course, he's in a million movies back then.
Mhm.
Amazing writer, amazing comedy writer,
Yep.
but she had kind of like a secret child with him at one point. She was married to a guy by the name of Neil Israel when her
Mm.
daughter was born. The family secret was revealed in Ghostbusters' Daughter, a book about Harold's life written by his other daughter, Violet Ramis.
Mm.
So that's something I did not know.
Mm. Okay.
She dated Bronson Pinchot, 1993 to 1997. I didn't know that either. And he would have been, I can't, he's been in a million things. He was in Bosom Buddies. He was in, I believe he was in True Romance. He's been in a bunch of stuff. Um,
Mhm.
they got engaged, but I guess split up. So she suffered from anorexia. Now, I did not know that, but I'm not surprised by that because anybody, I think, in the 80s and 90s, as a woman, if you grew up in those eras, you were seriously worrying about weight. And, you know, the whole social like message back then was to starve yourself. I mean, in the 90s, I
Mhm.
believe we had like a kind of a, like almost a, we called it a heroin era, which had a like a model look where everybody was emaciated. It was like kind of the standard back then, right? So her
Mhm.
falling into that, yeah, he was in Beverly Hills Cop too. Yep, as well. Yep, Perfect Strangers.
Mhm.
So yeah, I didn't know that. So she grew up in an apartment building in the Bronx that was filled with Holocaust survivors. That's really interesting.
Wow.
Like that's something that I would almost would have loved to do. Like imagine like just the people you meet and the stories you're hearing um, as a kid. Growing up in a building like that. That's gotta be heavy. You know.
Right?
Her NYU student film co-starred one of her classmates at the time, Joe Silver, who's a kind of an over producer now, but at that time, of course, was an unknown. So that's kind of interesting. In 1998, she received the Franklin J. Schaffner Medal from the American Film Institute. And in 1999, she received the Women in Film Crystal Award for Outstanding Women, who, through endurance and excellence, have helped to expand the role of women within the entertainment industry.
Mhm.
So that's a pretty big deal. And then three of her movies were made into TV series, which I think most people should know if they know her well enough. Fast Times, uh, became was based on Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and that came out in 1986. So that was a series that went on. It went on for like less than a season, but it was greenlighted. Um, the short-lived Baby Talk was based on Look Who's Talking. That was in 1991. And Clueless, they revamped that in 1996 and made it a series for a while. And Donald Faison and Stacey Dash, I think for sure, came back for that and did that. They had a chemistry in that movie,
Mhm.
and so they brought those two back. I don't know who else did. The series did kind of okay, but it did. It ran once on ABC for a season, and then it went on UPN for two more. So I never got a chance to see it, but I saw some of the scenes, and it's pretty cool. I'm weird. I'm one of those people that once I see a movie like a series, I can't. My brain can't do that. I can't explain it. Uh, but it did pretty well from what I understand. And she's directed two films that have been selected for the National Film Registry by the Library of Congress as being
Mm.
culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. And that's Fast Times at Ridgemont High and Clueless. And Clueless really was both of those movies. Honestly, uh, kind of changed like fashion and changed language. For sure, Clueless changed all of that. You know what I mean? Um, she did a lot of studying of teenage like language to get that movie the way she wanted it, so that it was believable. And so, and she also attended the High School of Art and Design in New York City, so that's another fact. But those are Amy Heckerling facts, and she's one of
Hmm.
my favorite people.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right. Hmm. Good to know.
I know,
Now I got
huh?
a
Who
fast
knew?
time. Fast times. I haven't seen that in a while. That's been years since I've
I
seen
think we
that.
should all watch it today.
I think so. That's a good idea. I will watch it. Hey, did you know it's Pi Day?
Yes, I'm a nerd though,
Mm.
so that's how come I know.
Ah.
Yeah,
And
us
I don't
nerds,
know
we all
about
know that. Yep,
yes, and I don't know about you, but I like free stuff. Okay, I don't know about you, but if it's free, it's for me.
it's for you. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
today, 3/14, they will be giving out some free stuff. If you go to 7-Eleven, I don't know who does, but I don't. But hey, they're giving away a whole pizza for $3.14.
Nice.
Quesadillas, $3.14, and they're giving away pie for 3.31 cent point four. I don't know how that actually loud, but
I was just gonna say, okay.
I don't know. I don't know. And if you're a fan of Burger King, they're giving you a free pie today. So if you
Do we
go
know what
check
kind of
those out,
pie? Just whatever. Okay.
it's one of those ice cream chocolate pie things.
Oh yeah, I don't know what Burger King says for. That's like the least for dessert. Fast food
Yeah.
places, I have no clue what they're serving for that.
All I know is
But knock yourself out, man. Go get your stuff.
you get your free stuff, and you can always look up more on any website. Just put up pie free stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't know how it's only 47 minutes because I actually thought my stuff ran long. So, but we're gonna be on time. I don't know what it is about you, Kenny, but everything's on time when I'm working with you. So I think
Uh,
last week we were on time too. I'm not used to being on time. I'm not even sure how to act about this. You know, it's very strange. It's very
hmm.
strange.
Strange.
But we can. It's totally up to you. But we can, go into our wrapping it up thing. You know,
Oh, okay.
we can recite lines from really funny movies. Hey, do you remember
Hey.
Forrest Whitaker? You remember Forrest Whitaker was in that movie, right? That was like one of his first roles in Fast Times. You remember that?
I haven't seen it in such a long
Yes.
time.
Forrest Whitaker was the guy with the Trans Am or the Firebird. That was a Trans Am, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. That's why you have to watch it. Because Forrest Whitaker, like, I don't think he premiered in that, but he's very, very young in it. It's like one of his first roles. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Now I gotta
Yeah,
really watch it.
he had a legendary Trans Am, which was 1982. That was a big deal, right? It
Wow.
had like the fishtail on the end, and I think maybe it had the louvers. I don't know, but it was a black Trans Am, and it was a really good looking car. And that was his deal in the movie: is don't mess with my car, don't mess with my Trans Am, leave my Trans Am alone. And then they took it on a joyride. So it's actually really funny. It's kind of
Wow.
cool. Yeah,
Didn't I know that? Now I gotta go watch it.
you do. We're gonna have to watch that today. We'll have to
Yes.
report back to each other in our little going on daily group.
Yes.
We'll have to like have a little chat about this. I can't tell. You guys can't join. It's just for us. It's a secret club.
Yeah. Secret Club.
It's where we do all our show notes.
Secret Club.
So
Okay.
you're back on tomorrow with Ron, right? Because
Yes.
we're wrapping up Women's History Week, and then next tomorrow begins Irish Week.
Mm-hmm. Irish Week.
Bring your shillelagh.
You have to give me a hat, little leprechaun hat.
Yeah, a leprechaun hat. A shillelagh, some Lucky Charms,
Smoky Chuck.
some green
Uh,
beer. Whatever it is.
hey, some green beer.
I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
anybody knows how to play the accordion, but if they do, I guess you guys will have to Bring them in.
That's
Wow.
awesome. Right?
Is an accordion an Irish thing?
I
Who
don't
knows?
know. Good
I mean,
question.
listen,
I don't know.
yeah, the bagpipes is more like it.
Oh,
I'm a lot more Irish than people think. I'm like more than half Irish or just about half Irish.
ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
I have a ton of freckles all over my face. If you know me personally, it's real hard not to see that. But I was born and raised with the Irish tradition.
Mm,
Corned beef and cabbage, the whole bit. My mother was all into
mm,
that. So
mm.
on my mom's side, we're all Irish. So just saying.
Right.
It's
All
definitely not
right.
foreign to me.
All right.
So coming up between today and tomorrow, get ready for Kenny and Ron tomorrow, right? I love corned beef and I love cabbage. I love them both. I
Me too.
mean,
Me too. Me
absolutely love
too.
it. But it's got to be done right. It's
Yep.
got to be done right. So yes, but it's a boiled dinner, and I absolutely every year I go searching for it. A good plate of corned beef and cabbage. Um, so yeah, you guys tomorrow can do your thing. I believe there's a top 5 probably coming up that nobody's gonna like or that you're gonna be upset about. So you guys, if you're watching those 2 tomorrow at 10 in the morning, just be prepared for that. Where else, Kenny, can we find you?
Right here on
Right
Rhode Island.
here,
Right here on Rhode
right
Island Broadcasting.
there. That's where to find Kenny. Just come back and right there he is.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, and the NBA show on Thursdays at 7. Right here
Oh, see,
on Rhode Island Broadcasting.
nice NBA show Thursdays. See that? Very cool. Right now you can find me on IG on Lena DJ Williams, and that's DEEJAY. You can find me on Facebook at Lena DJ Lena Williams. Same thing, DEEJAY. And then you can find me on YouTube. You're watching me on YouTube right now, if that's the case, at Lena Lee Williams 8668. And that's that. And yes, I do have a podcast coming up, and Ron made a crack this week about how we need to get it together, and we are getting it together.
Let's get together.
We are trying very hard to deal with some kind of a platform that we can stand. And we are going to be doing some testing this weekend. We are definitely not going to go with Zoom, so that's a good thing. But yeah, we are working on it. We got everything together except the bed and the platform. And once we get that done, we will have our first show, and I will let you know all about it.
We are all waiting.
I know.
We are all waiting.
With bated breath that is baited. I know. Just waiting patiently. You don't sound. It did sound patient. It sounded a little bit like pressure, but that's all right. But yeah, so that's it. Hopefully you had a good morning listening to us. I cannot believe either that with the stuff I had that like it didn't go over like for at least half an hour, but I don't know. Maybe I'm getting it together. Maybe I'm becoming more organized. Maybe I'm becoming more concise. I think I'll go with that.
Ooh.
What do you think? I'm just learning how to pull it together in an hour. Like I just didn't used to do that. Now I do. So that's good.
That's good.
But in the meantime, make sure that you go out and have a good Saturday. Do what you got to do today. It is windy, so I don't know. Be careful if you're up in the New England area. I don't know how much of this country is like that right now. Yeah, the Rhode Island Broadcasting.net/Uganda donations, just in case you missed it earlier. Yep. That's where you're going to go and donate. And like I said, anything matters. $5, $3, $7. Like it doesn't have to be much. So do that. And do it for Becky. Do it for the kids.
Yeah.
Do it for Becky.
Yep.
Kenny and I, we're going to sign off. I mean, this is pretty much it. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, we will.
And yeah, we've got it going on daily. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.